What's going on, y'all? Rap Critic here, and this was a Patreon voted episode. And if you'd like to vote on what song I review next, hit up that link below at patreon.com/rapcritic. So let's talk about Latto. Now, she kind of cheat coded her way to the top with the song that, well, let's just say it had big, relying on a popular sample energy.
Bad bitch, I could be a fantasy. I could tell you got big, deep energy.
Not to diss her success with it, but it can't be denied that the melody from Mariah Carey's Fantasy is doing a lot of heavy lifting here. You give that kind of track to anyone and they're going to be likely to pull a big hit out of it, but replace that backing melody with an unrecognizable one and it's doubtful whether the song would have stood out or charted nearly as high. Plus, the fact that nothing else she's done is really charted other than her song from, at this point, 2 years ago, it kind of makes it seem like she might have been a modern one-hit wonder situation. But it looks like that might not be the case, because with her new hit song, Put It On The Floor Again, she struck chart success without the instantly recognizable sample. Just an instantly recognizable guest verse. To her credit, though, this is a remix of the original, which got popular enough on its own to warrant getting a Cardi guest verse in the first place, so I gotta hand it to her on that. That said, it's not really worth going back to the original. Like, it's fine, but the remix definitely benefits from the change in energy Cardi brings. It pretty much makes the original obsolete at this point. Like, did anyone keep listening to the first version of Annie Up by M.O.P. after the Busta Rhymes remix came out? Hell no, you gotta get the Busta Rhymes remix because you know it does everything the original does and more, so why bother?
My niggas think lopsided, bust they get cross-sided in the subways, they rob trains running alongside it.
And it's essentially the same here. You're not really missing much, other than that oddly disturbing warning she gives to anyone who'd want to holler at her.
When I send that eggplant, that nigga know what time it is. My ex crazy about me, better be ready to die.
Yeah, having an ex so deranged you expect him to kill your new lover while he's still inside you? That's a real weird closer there. But in place of that borderline necrophilia situation, we have a pretty fun Cardi verse, where she actually plays off of Latto's verse in some cool, fun ways. Like there's the intro line.
Rip me out the plastic, I've been acting brand new.
And Cardi's verse answers her with her own spin on it.
Put a ribbon on me, I've been acting brand new.
And I like how they both work as echoing wordplays with slightly different contexts. Latto sounds like she's specifically referencing a toy being ripped out of its casing, while Cardi's line sounds like a specially wrapped item being ready for purchase. As well, I like how Cardi keys into the flow Latto's using, which may sound out of time to some, but on repeated listens, I realize it's actually a pretty cool technical thing she's doing.
Put a ribbon on me, I've been acting brand new.
See, you hear how she kind of sounds ahead of the beat, but in an odd way that still feels like it fits? Yeah, that's actually a cool musical technique that if you're keyed into a beat while you're flowing, you can actually break musical form in a way that lets you sort of land your flow in the space between spaces of a rhythm. If you listen, you can still get the feeling that she's riding the beat, just on the anticipation of the rhythm. Like, for contrast, you ever listen to MF Doom flow?
For being a drunken lush and bad as hell. Read the charge of thump sucking in a plush padded cell. And that's the one to ship your daughters to my quarters at once. And don't sip the tap water dunce.
See, he's doing the opposite side of this technique, where your flow is falling off the other side of the beat as it comes out. Check out this guy's TikTok that I found when looking up if other people were talking about these ways to flow over beats. But point is, because you can feel he's intentionally playing right on the off beat as part of his delivery, it still connects to your ear. I call it the decelerated flow, where it sounds like you're just falling off the beat of a time in a purposeful way. And I actually just put up a song on my Patreon as some pretty explicit examples of doing it.
Don't be giving me no lip hoe. I'll charge at your shit and rock your boat like a hippo.
However, when you're jumping ahead of the beat with purpose in your flow, I call it the accelerated flow. When a rapper's tuned into the beat in a way where you can feel the flow of the words sliding up against the beat in a consistently sped up way that doesn't sound sloppy.
Rip me out the plastic, I've been acting brand new. Bitches acting like they running shit, they really ran through.
You hear how the first part and the last part kind of speed up there? It's essentially a lyrical version of what you'd call tempo rubato in classical music, where you're actively stealing ahead of the time of the music, but in a mannered enough way where it feels like it's still in form with how the music is moving. But unfortunately, most guys who rap off beat have what I call the excited flow, where you can tell they're just saying the words too fast without really trying to fit in with the beat of the music. And yeah, the mainstream blue faces of the world suck, and it's annoying to see when a popular artist has no rhythm discipline, but don't think I'm just picking on the mainstream guys. You underground LPs and Talib Kweli's do a version of it too, where you're just shoving a bunch of syllables over a line without ever trying to make it fit into the rhythm. Yeah, that's right, you respectable lyrical cats can get this criticism too. I'll be hearing y'all flow sometimes. But for real, really listen to his flow here.
Then the nigga relapsed on the dead lows. Ain't no running, Tatiana. You gon' take these damn shows, Tatiana. I beat the pussy up. Now it's a murder scene. Keep shit player, Tatiana, like you ain't never even heard of me.
You can feel that he's just losing the time of the music, so he's just saying the words faster and it just comes out clumsy. So yeah, when you do it right, it's the accelerated flow. When you don't do it right, you're the excitable boy. So be accelerated, not cited. Yeah. Anyways, now that the classical music hip-hop fusion lesson is over, let's get back to the lyrics, which for the most part of the rest of the song are cool. I like that she actually gives us a piece of her mind as a woman who pisses off guys that treat her like she could have only gotten her status by being a scammer.
I spend that 500 before I never trap you.
With her point being, like, hey, the idea that a girl like her only got to where she is through emotional manipulation with a child, that's bullshit. But for real though, the way she worded that was so stealth, I legit didn't process how directly about getting an abortion that line was. Like, goddamn, it really came out the gate swinging with that one. So yeah, she doesn't care about your bankroll. Don't lump her in with the scammer types who only use men for money.
Cheap niggas make you pee, rich niggas get you both.
Oh, but don't get it confused though. She definitely still totally uses men for money. But see, the point is, she's such a goddamn firecracker. Dudes are trying to spend money without ever needing to employ such duplicitous tactics. That said, the line later on did kind of throw me off.
Shit around my neck, it costs an arm and leg. Swear that nigga set for life, I let him get me preg.
Because at first, it sounded like she was framing it like, oh, look how frosted up my chain is, so, you know, any guy who lays the pipe right, he's gonna be set for life if I let him hit the bare guts. But then I thought, wait, does that line up with her earlier bit about not suffering the plight of broke boys who can't accommodate her taste?
Cheap niggas make you pee, rich niggas get you both.
So when I heard it again, I thought, well, maybe she meant it like the guy she was referring to that's set for life. When she comes across a guy like that, that's the guy who can impregnate her.
Swear that nigga set for life, I let him get me preg.
But then, okay, wait, now I'm confused on where Latto stands on the bad bitch rap dichotomy. Is the pussy power and she's got rich dudes falling over to give her anything she wants? Or is she so financially independent she only wants a guy to be a dick in a jar who she doesn't need anything else from? So it doesn't matter how rich he is in the first place. And let's be clear here, I'm asking for the broke boys in the room who think these kind of women only care about money. Because if what she's actually saying is that she's down to lace a dude with a lavish lifestyle as long as the dick game good. Like, hey, fellas, maybe if you ixnay on the misogyny, man, you might be able to squeeze a good deal out of this shit. Although, after the overlapping meanings that can be read from the lines before him, I'm kind of thrown off as to who she's actually fucking with. So, which is it? Are you fucking with the brokies or the rich boys?
Broke niggas give the dick, rich niggas sponsor goals.
Ah, got it. Cardi, thanks for clearing things up. Again, another invaluable benefit of having the remix verse, a clarification. Well, overall, I give this one a 4 out of 5. Now, I noticed there's a continued version that includes Latto's second verse, but it literally has the least plays of all of them on Spotify, so I'm guessing a good chunk of folks were just trying to peace out after the Cardi verse. I mean, sure, it feels like the penultimate line hits a little stronger than the actual final one, but in the continued version, it goes back to that ghastly bit about the dude being inside you when he gets murdered by your ex. It's just not a terribly appealing image to end on. Well, that's my take on it, but let's kick it over to the Patreon What You Think section, where I ask the patrons their feelings on the songs I'm gonna review. Life is Strange says, pretty fun brag rap, by far Latto's best song. BT Dubs getting lesbian vibes from her and Cardi in the video. Well, the single cover art isn't exactly shying away from that aesthetic, and shit, I'm not going to be the one to counteract the headcanon that hot, so let's just end it there. Well, that's the episode. Leave a like if you like because it helps, comment if you have something to say because it helps even more, and hit the subscribe button because that's what helps the most. And if you want to make music, movie, or stream requests, you can always hit that link below at ko-fi.com/rapcritic. So check out all those links down in the description below, and I'll catch you next video. Peace.